So, I was writing a blog post on my phone the other day, and I thought to myself, you know, the WordPress icon looks a lot like a Ruffian manicure. And I decided, you know what? Why not make it a Ruffian? So, for all you fellow bloggers out there, I give you a WordPress Ruffian manicure. First, use a base coat to help protect your nails from yellowing and to help fill in any ridges. After that, paint all your nails with either an opalescent white or a pure white if you don't have one. This is Orly's Orly Platinum. You'll probably want 2 coats to get rid of that line of demarcation. You'll also want to make sure that this layer dries completely before moving on to the next step. It will make things a lot easier for you. Next, we're going to make the Ruffian part of the look. Take a bright blue, I'm using OPI's No Room for the Blues, and start about 1 millimeter or 2 away from your cuticle. Paint downwards, and stop a few millimeters from the free edge of your nail. The reason I told you to wait until the white layer dried completely is because if you paint too far down, like I did here, instead of having to mess around with nail polish remover and having to repaint, you can just take another finger and very lightly rub it away immediately. It should swipe right off without too much argument, and then you can just keep right on painting. On the second coat of blue polish, I like to paint backwards. Chances are that on the first coat, when you stop before the free edge, you probably left a clump of paint. So painting from the free edge back to the cuticle will help even out that little bit. This coat is mostly about getting the blue opaque and even on top of the white, so fuss over it a little bit. You could leave it like this and rock a regular Ruffian, but if you want to iconize your accent nails, wait until your blue coat is dried completely before you move on. Now to make the WordPress logo. Take a small brush with some white polish, or a white acrylic paint, or even a white striper, and draw a curved line about halfway up your nail. If you have short nails, skip this step. You can just paint the logo on your whole nail like I did on the middle finger of my right hand, as you can see here. It's much shorter than my other nails, but I could still pull off this style, and you can too. The reason I told you to wait until the blue coat dried was the same reason I suggested waiting until the white coat was dry. If you make a mistake, you can quickly dab the tip of another finger on it and get rid of the polish before it gets tacky. Beware though, you have to act fast to get rid of the extra polish or it will set and you'll have to use remover and repaint. But if your polish is still tacky underneath, you'll smudge the blue when you try to remove the white. Once you have a nice opaque curve, you'll want to work on the W. I find the easiest way is to start with the serifs, which are the horizontal lines on top of the vertical ones. And the dot. Then, paint the thick diagonal lines from one side of each serif down to almost directly beneath where the next one starts. After that, the thin lines from the middle of the dot or the serif to the bottom of the opposite thick line. That sounds really confusing. Just watch how I do it. It's not as complicated as I'm making it out to be. Then, add your second coat if needed, and now it's time for more fussing until it looks how you want. I forgot to film it, but if you make a line too thick, you can just go back with a blue polish on your small brush, or even a toothpick or a very small dotting tool, and touch it up. Finally, it's time for a top coat, and your WordPress blogger nails are ready to start typing. Like I always say, definitely feel free to mix it up. I only went with logos on my middle fingers and thumbs for accent nails, but maybe you want it on all your nails, or just one pointer finger. Really, the possibilities are only limited by your own creativity. Thank you very much for watching my tutorial, and I hope you decide to try out this design yourself. Please rate this video if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more tutorials. And as always, I hope your life is full of color.